Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. Believing in yourself when everyone else doubts you, that's not a mindset. That's a superpower. Because here's the truth. There will be seasons in your life where it feels like no one sees you. No one claps. No one supports. People will laugh, question your path. They'll call your dreams too big, your ideas too risky, your goals unrealistic, and if you're not careful, you'll start to believe them instead of you. But I'm here to tell you today, you do not need a fan club to rise. You need courage, you need grit, and most of all, you need to believe in yourself when no one else does. Because belief, that's your fuel when the tank runs dry. It's the voice in your head when everything outside is silent. It's what you grab onto when the world tells you no, and you still choose to move forward. Look, I know what it's like to feel unseen, to feel like the underdog, to feel like you're standing alone with nothing but your gut telling you, keep going. That voice, that's your power. That's your truth. And you must listen to it even when it's the only thing you've got. You think the greats got to where they are because everyone supported them from the start? Number? They got there because they believed before it made sense. They worked when nobody watched. They spoke their vision into the dark and kept moving, even when nobody echoed it back. That's what sets them apart, and that's what you got to do. You've got to choose yourself. When they laugh, choose yourself. When they doubt, choose yourself. When the room goes quiet and the world doesn't clap, you clap for you. You show up. You speak life into your own dreams. Because if you wait for the world to validate you, you'll be waiting forever. And don't you dare shrink to fit someone else's comfort zone. Don't lower your volume just because your light is too bright for their shadows. The moment you start trying to please everyone else, you lose the one person who matters most to you. Self-belief is built in the silence. It's built in those 5 a.m. mornings where nobody sees you grinding. It's built in the tears you wipe off quietly, in the work you do without credit, in the dreams you chase that only you understand. And it's in those moments when nobody gets it that you either break or build. So build. Because belief isn't about knowing you'll never fail. It's about trusting you'll rise every single time you do. It's not about being fearless. It's about facing your fear and still walking forward. It's not about having all the answers. It's about being brave enough to ask the questions and start anyway. And if nobody else claps for you today, I will. Because it takes guts to keep going when the world tells you to stop. It takes fire to stay committed when you're the only one who believes in your vision. It takes resilience to trust your voice when 100 others are screaming louder. But here's what I know. The most dangerous person in the room is the one who believes in themselves quietly, relentlessly, and without permission. So if you're standing on shaky legs today, let me say this loud. You are enough. You are worthy. You are capable. And you don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need to believe in yourself. That belief, it's going to carry you further than approval ever could. You don't need the whole world behind you. You just need you in your corner. So believe, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Because the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. And when you believe in that, person truly, deeply, unshakably, there is nothing you can't do. Now get out there. Show them what happens when someone decides to back themselves no matter what. And don't you ever let their doubt drown out your destiny. Believe in yourself, especially when no one else does. That's when it matters most. ChatGPT said, when doubt surrounds you, when the voices of others get louder than your own, you've got to make a decision. You have to choose to turn up the volume on your belief and turn down the noise of everything else. Because their doubt doesn't define you, your belief does. When people look at you and don't see your worth, your potential, or your fire, that doesn't mean it's not there. It just means they haven't looked closely enough. It's not your job to convince them. It's your job to prove it through action, through resilience, and through showing up again and again, even when it feels like you're standing in the arena alone. ChatGPT said, when doubt surrounds you, when the voices of others get louder than your own, you've got to make a decision. You have to choose to turn up the volume on your belief and turn down the noise of everything else. Because their doubt doesn't define you, your belief does. When people look at you and don't see your worth, your potential, or your fire, that doesn't mean it's not there. It just means they haven't looked close. People will project their own limitations onto you. They'll tell you what's impossible based on what they couldn't do. But their ceiling is not your ceiling. Their fear doesn't belong in your story. And their disbelief doesn't get to dictate your destiny. That's why your internal belief has to be a fortress. You have to guard it, feed it, protect it with everything you've got. Because if you let their doubt seep in, it'll spread like wildfire. And before you know it, you'll be playing small, not because you're not capable, but because someone else convinced you you weren't. Let me say this loud and clear. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need you to believe in you. That's it. That's the secret. The world has seen too many brilliant people talk themselves out of their dreams because they were waiting for outside validation. They were waiting for someone else to give them the green light. But what if you stopped waiting and started driving? What if you became your own biggest hype squad? What if you looked in the mirror and decided, I don't need them to get it, I get it. I believe. And that's enough. Because let's be real. If you only believe in yourself when people applaud, what happens when the applause stops? If your confidence is dependent on approval, it will collapse the second it's challenged. But if your belief is rooted deep, if it comes from knowing who you are and what you're capable of, even when no one else sees it, then nothing can shake you. Not rejection, not silence, not criticism, not failure, because belief built from within is unshakable. Think about every successful person you admire. Do you think they got there because everyone believed in them from the start? Most of them got there because they kept going when no one else saw the vision. They kept creating, building, and grinding even when the world told them no. And in that silence, in that resistance, they found their strength. Because there's something powerful that happens when you bet on yourself and you win. It creates a kind of confidence that no one can take from you. It's earned, not given. And once you have it, it's yours forever. So the next time someone tells you it can't be Don's mile, let them doubt, let them underestimate, let them talk. And while they're talking, you'll be working, you'll be growing, you'll be building something real. Because belief doesn't require permission, it requires commitment. Commitment to your vision, commitment to your journey. Commitment to becoming the person who does the thing everyone said couldn't be done. It starts small. One decision, one action, one moment where you choose belief over doubt, and then another, and another. That's how momentum is built. That's how confidence is created. Not in giant leaps, but in steady steps fueled by the refusal to quit. And every time you show up for yourself, you reinforce that belief. You're telling yourself, I'm worth the effort. I'm worth the risk. I'm worth the work. And the most beautiful part? Eventually, the people who once doubted you will have no choice but to watch you rise. Because belief backed by action is undeniable. It's magnetic. It silences critics without ever saying a word. So stay focused, keep your head down, keep your heart open, and keep believing, even especially when it feels like no one else does. You've got what it takes. You've always had it. It's just time you believed it louder than their doubt. You don't need the whole world to back you. You don't need the crowd. You don't need the perfect timing or the perfect plan. You need one thing, you, your belief, your fire, Your decision to show up for yourself, especially on the days when no one else does. Waiting for everyone to see your value before you move? That's a trap. Because some people will never see your vision, not because it's not worth it, but because it's not theirs to see. That vision was given to you, not to them. So if you're holding back, waiting for someone else to say, you've got what it takes, let this be the moment you stop. Because that permission, it's yours to give, always has been. Here's what happens when you stop needing external validation. You become dangerous. Because now your power doesn't come from applause, it comes from alignment. When you're aligned with your purpose, when you trust yourself, even in the silence, you don't hesitate. You act, you move, you create. And guess what? That scares people. It makes them uncomfortable because most people are still waiting for approval, for signs, for clarity, for someone to believe in them first. And there you are, choosing yourself. That's powerful. That's leadership. And that's rare. Most people don't believe in themselves because they've been trained to rely on outside voices to validate their every move. You start a new goal. What do they think? You get an idea. Will they approve? You take a step forward. Is this good enough for them? And every time you defer to the crowd, you give away a piece of your power. But belief doesn't grow in crowd sit, grows in solitude. In the quiet moments when it's just you, your dream, and a decision to keep going. Think about the last time you really believed in something, truly deeply believed in it. Maybe it was a business idea. Maybe it was a version of yourself that no one else had met yet. Maybe it was a dream that kept you up at night. That belief, that didn't come from someone else hyping you up. That came from you. From something inside you whispering, this matters. Keep going. That voice, that's the only one that matters. And the more you listen to it, the louder it gets. The truth is, most people will only believe in you after you've succeeded. After the numbers are there, after the trophies, after the followers. That's easy. But what about before? What about when your ideas are messy, your path is unclear, and your results haven't caught up to your effort? That's when belief matters most. That's when you find out who you really are. And let's be real, people will never get it. They'll never understand why you work so hard, why you risk so much, why you keep going when there's no guaranteed outcome, and that's okay. They're not supposed to. That's not their role. Their role isn't to believe in you. That's your role. That's your responsibility. To carry the dream when it's heavy. To keep the fire burning when it's cold, to believe when belief feels like a burden. That's the work. That's what separates those who wish from those who win. So stop waiting for someone else to see your worth. You see it, own it, breathe it, walk like it, speak like it, move like it, because belief isn't a feeling, it's a practice. It's a choice you make every single day. You wake up and say, I don't know how, I don't know when, but I know I will. And then you show up. And you back that belief with action. Not once, not twice, but over and over and over again until belief becomes who you are. And let me tell you something else. You're going to outgrow people. Not everyone can handle the version of you that believes, that acts, that rises. And that's okay. Let them go. Your journey is not about dragging people along. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be, fully, boldly, without apology. When you believe in yourself without needing others to do it first, you step into a kind of freedom most people never taste. The freedom to fail, the freedom to try, the freedom to live on your own terms. Because you're not here to be understood, you're here to create impact. You're not here to be liked. You're here to live a life that sets your soul on fire. That takes boldness. That takes belief. That takes standing tall even when you feel small. And most importantly, It takes trusting that the version of you who started this journey is worth seeing it through. So no, you don't need everyone to believe in you. That was never the requirement. You just need to decide that you do, that your dream is worth chasing, that your voice is worth using, that your vision is worth building, even if you're the only one who sees it right now. Because belief isn't about being loud, it's about being unshakable. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, I've got me. And when you've got you've got everything you need. Start there, stay there, grow from there, let the world catch up later. Rejection stings, it's uncomfortable, it makes you question your worth, your path, your choices. But what if rejection isn't the enemy? What if it's actually your compass? What if every time you're told no, it's not because you're unworthy, but because you're being redirected to something better? Because here's the truth, most people never learn. Rejection is not personal. It's positioning. It's not about you not being good enough. It's about something not being aligned. And that shift in perspective can change your entire life. When someone closes a door in your face, it doesn't mean you weren't meant to walk through one. It means that wasn't your door. The job you didn't get, the person who didn't believe in you, the opportunity that slipped through your handsaw of those no's are making space for the one yes that actually fits who you are becoming. But that only happens if you keep moving forward. If you let every rejection strengthen your resolve instead of shrinking your spirit. Think about it. Every time you were rejected, you had a choice. You could either internalize it, believe it meant you weren't enough, and stoper, you could use it as fuel. Rejection can either be your ceiling or your launch pad. It can either limit your growth or force you to reach higher, try harder, evolve deeper. The difference lies in how you frame it. Doubt is a liar. It sneaks in when you're tired, when you failed, when things aren't happening fast enough. It tells you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not experienced enough. And the problem is, it speaks in your own voice. That's what makes it so convincing. You hear that whisper in your mind saying, what if I can't do this? And you assume it must be true. But here's the truth. Doubt isn't fact. It's fear, dressed up as reason. And if you don't learn how to separate your thoughts from the truth, doubt will drive your entire life. Doubt loves to show up right before a breakthrough. Right before the moment you push yourself. Right before the opportunity that could change everything. Because doubt is not trying to keep you safe. It's trying to keep you small. It's trying to protect your comfort zone, not your potential. And the thing is, your potential lives outside of that zone. So if you want to grow, you've got to stop waiting for the doubt to disappear. You've got to move with it. This is where most people get stuck. They think they have to feel confident before they take action. They wait for clarity, for certainty, for permission. But that's not how it works. Confidence is the result of taking action, not the requirement. You don't wait until you believe in yourself. You act while you're doubting yourself. That's courage. That's growth. That's how you build belief. Not by thinking, by doing. You want to silence your doubt. Get moving. Get uncomfortable. Take the step. Make the call. Try the thing. Doubt thrives in hesitation. It feeds off of stillness. But the moment you take action, even a small one, you interrupt the pattern. You remind yourself, hey, I'm not powerless. I'm not stuck. I'm in control. And that moment is everything. Because the more you act in spite of doubt, the more you train your brain to trust you over your fear. Here's the deal. Everyone doubts themselves. Everyone. The difference between those who win and those who stay stuck is not who doubts and who doesn't. It's who listens and who acts anyway. That person you admire, the one crushing it, they're not free of doubt. They're just practiced at not letting it lead. They hear the voice, but they don't let it steer the ship. They say a thanks for your input, and then they do the thing anyway. And you can do the same. The most dangerous thing about doubt is that it sounds logical. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It tells you to wait a little longer, to plan more, to do more research, to not get your hopes up, to play it safe. It sounds like caution, but it's actually procrastination wearing a mask. And if you listen to it long enough, it becomes your default. You start talking yourself out of opportunities before you've even tried. You start shrinking to fit inside a version of yourself that doubt approves of. But let me ask you this. What has doubt ever given you? Has it ever helped you grow? Has it ever moved you forward? Has it ever left you feeling proud? Or has it only delayed the life you know you're capable of living? You're capable of living. Doubt might keep you safe from risk, but it will also keep you safe from purpose, from growth, from breakthroughs. Playing small doesn't protect you. It robs you. So if doubt is going to show up anyway, and let's be honest, it will, then make a decision right now that it doesn't get to win. Singies, it doesn't get to hold the pen to your story. It doesn't get to be the loudest voice in the room. You do. Your belief does. Even if it's just a whisper, even if it's just barely louder than the fear, that is the voice you follow. Start small. Start where you are. You don't have to do the biggest thing. You just have to do something. One move in the direction of what you want. One decision that says, I'm no longer letting doubt dictate my potential. And when the doubt flares up again, because it will, you remind yourself that we've been here before. And last time I moved anyway, and look what happened. That's how you build unshakable belief. Not by never doubting yourself, but by learning how to lead yourself through doubt. By refusing to let that voice be the one that wins. By stacking action on top of action until the belief in yourself is stronger than the fear. Stronger than the fear. You are not your doubt. You are not your fear. You are not your worst case scenario. You are the one who shows up even when it's hard. You are the one who moves forward, even when it's uncertain. You are the one who decides that doubt may be loud. But it's not the truth. You are. So the next time doubt knocks at your door, open it with confidence. Let it say what it wants to say, and then say a thanks, but I've got this, and move. Move boldly. Move imperfectly. Move with a heart that knows your dreams are worth the discomfort, because they are, and so are you. There's a point in every journey where it's just you. No cheerleaders, no recognition, no one clapping. It's quiet, it's hard, and you start asking yourself, is this even worth it? That's the moment that separates the people who dream from the people who do. Because it's easy to work hard when people are watching. It's easy to be consistent when there's feedback, support, and applause. But true success, the kind that builds legacy, impact, and personal pride, that comes from the days when you show up even when no one sees you. You have to be your own source of validation. You have to wake up and move even when no one tells you to. You have to keep going when there's no guarantee. Because discipline is doing the thing long after the mood you made the decision in is gone. That's where greatness is forged. Not in public. Not on the stage. In the unseen, unsexy, repetitive grind that no one talks about. The real work happens in the dark. This isn't about motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the weather. You don't build your dreams on motivation. You build them on commitment. And you build them on routines, systems, and daily choices that align with who you want to become. And those choices, most days, they won't feel exciting. They won't feel inspiring. They'll feel boring, hard, and thankless, but they matter. They're bricks. Every single one you lay adds up until one day you look up and realize you built something no one can take from you. You don't need a spotlight. You need consistency because the world might not clap for you right now. Your friends might not understand. Your family might not see the vision. Social media might not celebrate your process, but you're not doing this for applause. You're doing this for transformation. And transformation isn't loud. It's slow. It's silent. It's subtle. And it takes time. Some days you're going to feel invisible. You'll wonder if what you're doing even matters, but that's when you double down. That's when you dig deeper. Because those invisible days, they're the ones that build resilience. They're the ones that strengthen your belief. They teach you to trust your own voice more than anyone else's. And that's priceless. If you can learn to keep your promises to yourself when no one is looking, you become unstoppable. You become someone who doesn't need permission, validation, or perfect conditions. You just need a reason. And the reason, that lives in your why. Not your what, not your how, but your a why. Why are you doing this? Why does it matter? Why is it non-negotiable? Because your a why is what gets you out of bed when the alarm goes off and you'd rather sleep. Your a why is what keeps you going when the numbers aren't showing yet. Your a why is what fuels you when the doubts are loud and the road is long. And here's the secret. Your a why has to be bigger than your excuses, bigger than your fear, bigger than your ego. Because when it is, you'll show up. Not for attention, not for likes, but for your life. You've got to trust the compound effect. The idea that small things done consistently add up over time to massive results. You won't see it right away. You might feel like you're doing everything right and nothing is changing, but that's where faith kicks in. Not blind faith, faith, the kind that's built through action. The kind that's built through action. Every rep, every draft, every call, every rejection you push through, it's all adding up. You're planting seeds. And if you keep watering them, they will grow. But you can't dig them up every week to check. There will be days when you want to quit. Not because you're weak, but because you're human. And that's okay. But quitting can't be your default. You can rest. Yes, you can pause, reflect, reset. But then you've got to get back in the game because no one else can live your life for you. No one else can put in your reps, and no one else will care about your dream the way you do. So be proud of the work you do in silence. Be proud of the discipline no one sees. Be proud of the growth that doesn't make it to social media, because that's the real flex. That's the foundation. Anyone can perform for the crowd, but not everyone can build in the dark. And when your moment comes, and it will come, you'll be ready. Not because you got lucky, but because you earned it, because you kept going. When you feel like no one is clapping for you, clap for yourself. Celebrate the reps. Honor the effort. Be your own witness. And because every time you choose the work over the wish, the action over the excuse, the vision over the validation, you're building something extraordinary, something unshakable, something real. So keep going. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work when no one sees you. Because you see you. That's more than enough.